Thanks for dropping by. I have had this great idea, and the great idea revolved around this empty olive oil tin, which I've had for years and years, thinking I'll do something really great with it. Well, I've just had a month in India working, and while I was there, I happened to have a wonderful conversation with a gentleman about carbon emission and climate warming, etc., etc. And he said that the latest movement that they're trying to get up off the ground was to give a gift of perpetuity, i.e. like a living tree. Well, this year, now that I'm home and I've been thinking about all these wonderful things that I heard and observed while I was working in India, I've been thinking about what can I do to make a difference, to have people planting trees. So my way forward is to gift a tree, and to all of my friends this year, especially my Italian friends, I am going to use the tin here as my base. I've found this beautiful olive tree which will grow and will provide a fruit, which I thought was really great for helping my little bit to encourage my friends to plant trees and to have more living trees. I've also got some artificial olive here just because I want to put a little bit of decoration around there. I've got some stones which I'm going to cover the top of the container with, and I've also found this beautiful material here. Now, because I said it was going to be a Christmas arrangement, I wanted something that was a little organic and it sort of had that Italian theme through it. Also, I've got a friend that's Italian and is getting married, and she's asked me to come up with a concept for her table. So this is a 2-for-1 segment today. So I found, as I said, I found this beautiful material here, and it's got all of these lovely logos onto it, representing olive oil houses, I think. I don't know, because I haven't been to Italy. But anyway, I found that, and I also have found this lovely paper. So what I'm going to do first, before we even get into this, is I've got some Mod Podge here, and onto this paper, the back of this card, what I did was I cut out all of these little wee labels, and I just used the Mod Podge, glued those onto there, and then it's just a matter of cutting those out. And it's a little bit rough, but I like that the organicness and the rawness of it. So on the back I've got the stripes, which I think will be lovely in with the green here, and just the lovely colour there. So these are going to be my decorations, and all I'm going to do with those is just put a little punch hole into there, and I've got some little bits of string here, which I'm just going to use because I also like the look of the jute, and I thought that the jute rope with the card was quite a nice lovely colourway and interplay of lovely forms and textures. And if you're doing any kind of designing and you're thinking, oh, I don't know what to do, because the olive tree reminds me of in the countryside and on a farm and things growing. So, you'd find string there, and I love the card, and I think that it's all going to be lovely and earthy. Right, from there, so once you've done those, which I've done, a whole heap here, and just as a little tip, I seem to always be time pressed, but what I do is, when I glue anything onto card or paper, I put it put the oven onto really low, shove the whole thing into the oven, like this here, as if you were baking something, put it into the oven, leave it for a few minutes, and it dries incredibly quickly. Now, these are all sort of like a little bit bendy, which I don't mind, because it just adds a little bit more movement and life to what we're creating. Right, from there, the other thing I've done is, and I've shown you how to do these lots of times, these are just the air dry clay, and what I've done with those is I've just pressed the leaf into it and then cut it roughly around. I put a little wee screw thing at the end here. I've put a little bit more of the rope into there, so I've got two matching forms, and then I just sprayed a little bit of glitter over the top so that it's going to give a little bit of luster and sparkle and sort of like that little bit of Christmas with it. Okay, and those there, as I said, are going to go around the edge. Now, I'm going to plant this into here. What I've done with the olive oil tin was I just used the can opener and got rid of that. If there's any rough little bits, just use the pliers to push those down. And then underneath, what I've done is I just got a nail and a hammer and just put some drainage holes down the bottom. Now, because this is only going to be for a few weeks, it doesn't really matter about good drainage down the bottom, because I don't think that the olive's going to last very long in this. But what I would normally do if I wanted it for a long term is I would put some broken terracotta or some stones down the bottom of that, just so that I've got some nice free drainage, so that the soil's not running down and bunging up the bottom of it. Right, give me a few seconds because I'm going to make one terrible mess and I'm going to take it over to the bench to do it. But I'm going to transplant this into there and I'll be back in a moment. So there we go, I've made a terrible mess and now I'm back, but this actually needs about that much more soil in the top, but that will be fine for now. In fact, as I look at this, I'm thinking, well, you know, that could be quite nice to live in that quite nicely for quite some time until it gets a bit root bound. But it's not going to last long in that tin anyway because the tin will eventually rust out. Right, from there, starting from the bottom, I've got a little, you could put some stones over the top if you wanted to, and the reason I've got the stones is because I thought it would pick up the white of the can of the olive oil and just have that transition through. But I think that this will be okay to just do this. So just a few little bits of olive branch down into that soil there, and it's great using this because you don't have to worry about, see, look at that, just a little bit of growth around the top of your rim of your container. And then with these I thought could just be little leaves, could just be hung onto the trees, but the main stem is where your strength is. These aren't really strong enough to be doing too much for holding too much weight, so we won't put too much pressure onto that. But just those little leaves, even if you just use those, they would be quite nice. And then I've got a bigger one here, so I'm going to tie that on, being gentle not to break any of the little branches. And I've got this one here, so I'll put that onto there. But as a concept, I think that this is fantastic in giving a living tree to somebody. Because you know, I don't know about you guys, but I know that there's a lot of people that re-gift things. Well, re-gifting a plant, what a good idea. Now, with these here, it's just a matter of just hanging those onto the base or around your little branches, because these don't actually weigh very much. But look at that, how cool and groovy is that for something that is living and is about Christmas or is about celebrating at a wedding or any kind of event. So there you have it, a beautiful living gift that connects through to Italy. If you're looking for a theme for a wedding, these running along a table with some candles could look really lovely. I love this idea, and I know that my friends will do something fantastic with that tree. Merry Christmas, and I will see you all another day. Thanks for watching.